Inconsistent VGK with the weekend split, a loss in Arizona last night, and a farewell victory before they hit the road over the Caps. We dig into the past weekends back-to-back. Why was LT in net last night? Cassidy blows, again, his top as he talks about the team, as Chris Golick said, and he bus rolled. You said he bus rolled the VGK centers. All that coming up ahead right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
Your Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
We are brought to you today by our new sponsor, FanDuel. Just sign up today at FanDuel.com/lockedon. Place your first $5 bet to get $150 in free bets, win or lose. A FanDuel.com/lockedon special. Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick, and welcome aboard. We come to you each Monday through Friday right here, and you can find us on Twitter at LockedOnVGK. Follow Chris, very entertaining follow at TDChrisG. I am at Tony Dasco, and Locked On Golden Knights. Of course, subscribe on our YouTube channel. So we come off of a euphoric, let's say, Saturday night victory for VGK.
Only too early for big words, smaller words, less syllables.
Okay, perhaps one of their better 60-minute efforts of the season, save the, or at least since the Penguins game, right? But that game in the rearview mirror now. On the tail end of the back-to-back last night, we saw where they stunk in Arizona. Didn't play well defensively. VGK trips up again. And, when you look at this Coyotes team, not very good. They're decent at home, 9-7-2. They've only played 18 home games, not like VGK's rigged schedule. Coyotes, they fell last night 4-1. Psychologically, right? So another big word. Is that a big term? Psychologically, we've learned a little bit about this VGK team. They get down early in a game, and then it's just like they're battling uphill all night. So Arizona in the first period was a -19 on the season. They -19. And for the 10th time in 12 games, I'm going to start Cassidying it right now. Just doing this way. 10th time in 12 games, VGK gives up the first goal, and then they almost look psychologically defeated.
Hey, but Phil Kessel got on the board, so that's good. I mean, it was tough. I didn't watch last night's game terribly closely, which feels like a win for
Who wanted to? It was garbage.
No, I mean, I was peeking in. My kid had hockey last night, so I was kind of looking up from the bench every now and then. And then for the third period, I was working last night, but I had it on my phone and I'm watching. I'm like, just no. And then I see with 5.5 minutes left, there's no Logan Thompson. Again, Logan Thompson, why is he in the net? That's something definitely needs to be. We'll dive into probably a little bit more, but we'll talk more about the game right now. And Logan Thompson is gone with 5.5 minutes left. And I get Cassidy's trying not to give up on the game and trying to show something, but man, 5.5 minutes. Like if there's a power play with 5.5 minutes left, fine. You want to take a shot and take that risk. I'm okay with that. I even felt 5.5 minutes was a little bit too much personally, but at that point, what does it even matter? The game was pretty much in hand. VGK it's such all the words that you use to describe Saturday's game, all those really big, weird words that start with vowels and stuff. And then I even tweeted before this game, I said, if VGK loses in Arizona, everything that happened on Saturday night was undone. And Saturday was a party, right? It was so much fun being there as a fan for that game. I'm glad I got to experience that game as a fan and cheer, and it was exciting. It was great. And then Coyotes. And the biggest thing to think about here is, yes, Saturday was fun. It was awesome. We loved every second of that game, except for the fact that there wasn't any street meat for sale afterwards. But besides that, everything was great during that game. But at the end of the day, they beat a Washington Capitals team who looked like they didn't want to be at that game. Just watching that game, we've seen this performance from the VGK as well, where just VGK doesn't look like they want to be on the ice, or they're not giving a good performance. And the Stars just don't align sometimes. That's what the Capitals were. So that's the team they beat. Oh, yeah. And they didn't have this guy named Alex Ovechkin out there, who is pound for pound one of the best generational talents as far as my lifetime is going to go. I'll take him over Crosby any day. I know there's a lot of people I love to argue about those two, but Crosby is an absolute remarkable talent. We cannot argue that side of it. And they were without him. So listen, good job. VGK beat the team that was across the ice from him. But now you look at the egg that they laid in Arizona, and it tells you that this team still is not even close to turning that corner, which everyone thought that they did on Saturday nights.
Each team played 4 games this past week, and Cassidy said no excuse, but he feels as though perhaps his team is mentally fatigued. Coyotes controlling the neutral zone in that first period. That was pretty much, to me, the difference in the game. And then, of course, VGK picked apart in 5-on-5. Jack Eichel, by the way, so they put Eichel, Stevenson, so -2, I should say, on the night. Eichel, Stevenson, the Misfits, Pietrangelo, all -2. And Eichel, I wanted to talk about him. Last 7 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, and a -8. Last 7 games.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. He is the man, right? He is the man, and he needs to be the man when other mans are not on the ice, right? I know that's not proper English and Tony's
We
English
like it,
level,
though. It
but
makes sense to us. It's a hockey crowd.
Yeah, there you go. Man, call him Manny's, right? Put an I on the end of it. That's their nickname. But Eichel, it's, and listen, people go through this. Like, I'll give a pass in the sense that no one's going to have a perfect season. And when you have such high expectations as Jack Eichel does, it magnifies a lot quicker as far as just the concern level goes. Is he injured? I mean, really, no one's talking about this, but there are times when he just does not look himself out there. Early in the season, he looked great. And since he was gone for 10, 11, 12 games, whatever it was, I'm curious what his stat line is since he came back. And I'm trying to think. I mean, I know he scored in the Pittsburgh game. How many goals has he scored?
Isn't that 7 games? Isn't that around 7 games?
Since he's been back?
Yeah.
It's been something like that. It's definitely been something like that.
1 goal, 1 assist, and -8.
That wouldn't, that definitely could be what it is. Then if that's what it is, that's unfortunate.
Something's not right with him. You're right. You're absolutely right. You hit it on the head, because there's something wrong with Jack Eichel.
And he needs, everyone needs their legs out there. And I get all that. I know this is a terrible analogy, but his legs just don't seem to be moving right now. And he okay, let's not crap on Jack Eichel too long here, because the game on Saturday, he did look like himself. I think he only had 1 or 2 shots on Saturday, but on Saturday, I didn't care, because he was his old self, where he's carrying the puck, waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And there was another instance that I immediately thought about you, Tony, where it was in the game on Saturday where he made just this crazy pass down low, and whoever it was couldn't catch the pass. And something, I don't know how you practice this. I don't know how you make someone become better with Jack Eichel, but Cassidy mentioned this is game 49. We got to be better or something like that. Well, that's 49 games and probably, 28 practices or whatever the number is, plus however many pregame day of skates and stuff like that, and plus all the warmups and things like that. So I'm not going to buy the excuse of, Jack Eichel is hard to play with or anything like that. I just think they lack the proper player to play with him. And I don't know who the proper player is. I love Patrick Kane. I'd love to see Patrick Kane on the Chicago Blackhawks if that comes to fruition. But Patrick Kane also has a lot of Jack Eichel in him, the way he passes. And Patrick Kane, as good of a scorer as he is a very underrated passer. So a lot of questions. I mean, McCrimmon's going to have to spin the dials right now, and he's going to have to find some, because let's not get too deep without acknowledging the start this team had. I know we're holding on to that right now, because if it wasn't for that start, we would be imagine if we had a 500 starts and we're still playing this level of hockey right now. Now is when, the Fire McCrimmon chant is happening outside of T-Mobile, and there'd be people outside of City National with signs, pointing towards wherever McCrimmon's office is. Like, it would be ugly right now if this team had a rough starts. With scarves, yes, with scarves. With scarves. So
did you see my tweet?
Which one?
About another rigged VGK back-to-back. Like, Oh my goodness, they're playing it back to
No,
back.
but who was it that called out the time change and actually like said Arizona
Yeah, but it's a
had
time change.
less time? When
Yeah,
Arizona traveled, they
one
had less
person did it.
time. So
Right, they got
someone
an
called
hour
you out,
back.
Tony. It was pretty good. It was dynamite.
Well,
Whoever said that.
in any event, their flight time 2 hours 27 minutes, 879 miles from Dallas to Phoenix. VGK's flight time from Las Vegas to Phoenix 1 hour 10 minutes, 256 miles. That's it. So rigged, so rigged. And then next week they're going to be playing in the tri-state area. I just was going off. Okay, here's one for you. Next back-to-back versus the Rangers and the Islanders. Distance via bus ride for VGK 39 minutes, 18.3 miles.
How many tolls?
I don't think there's any tolls on that drive. Phil Kessel scored a goal last night.
Woo!
Does he only do well against his former teams?
They're mounting
There's
up.
so many of them, yeah.
I mean,
he hasn't
listen,
played
Phil
for
Kessel,
the Devils,
what does that
Rangers,
put him
or
at?
Isles.
Is it
What's
10,
that?
11 goals now?
Yeah, I think about that, but
I
what's
mean,
he doing?
no,
I'm thinking,
I'm fair with
I'm
that,
thinking,
but
I'm thinking maybe he gets a call from Rick Tocchet, who's his really good friend, right? One of the reasons why Kessel came to Vegas is because Tocchet has a house here and they were hanging out. Do you
I
think he
mean,
goes with him to Vancouver?
uh, I don't know. I mean, Kessel could be more of a rental type player that would, be appealing that regard. I could see something like that maybe, but I don't know who would step up to the plate and want Kessel. And it's weird if you sign someone in the off season and then you trade them mid season. That's certainly not the best form as far as, getting future free agents goes. Phil Kessel's in a different world, obviously, but I don't see a path that exists where Kessel's going anywhere. And Kessel was acquired for his playoff play. He was acquired for what he has done historically in the playoffs. So again, first of all, this team's got to make the playoffs. This is not a shoe-in. Like anyone who's sitting back right now thinking VGK is, they'll figure this out by the playoffs. No, folks. We are down to the last 33 games right now. If my 6:45 in the morning math is appropriate, we are down to 43 games to figure this out and to stay out of the wild card hunt. You don't want to get in that cluster bleepity bleep that's going to be happening at the end of the season where there's 6 teams trying to get WC 1 and 2. That's where the VGK was last year. At times it felt like they were there and then they lose one game and they lose so much ground. So they have to figure out a way to find their game, so to speak, and soon. Something else I was holding on to last Saturday's game at T-Mobile. That was the last time we will see the Vegas Golden Knights in Las Vegas for 21, 22 days, whatever the number is. When this team comes back, very reasonable chance. Again, this is after the All-Star break and everything now. Very reasonable chance Whitecloud, Theodore, and Howden return to the ice. Hopefully we'll Carrier. I got no clue what's up with Carrier right now, but hopefully Carrier is also on that list of people that return by then. And, Mark Stone, who knows what's going to happen there. Obviously let's start with hoping Mark Stone is back. If it's not Mark Stone and it's going to be well for Mark Stone, which I see you shaking your head, I'm with you. Hopefully we have whatever our trade deadline acquisition is by then, not by March 1st when there's only, 20 something, whatever games left. We need it now, need it quick, and make that deal now before someone like Chicago says, okay, highest bidder gets Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves at the deadline. Make that deal now. Don't make it later. If we know what Mark Stone's outlook is.
And we know that Theodore and Howden are on the road with VGK. Perhaps they will play in that New York area.
And possibly Zach Whitecloud too, according to Cassidy.
Okay, is he on the road with them?
Possibly was the statement
they said
that he
possibly.
Made. He said possibly.
Okay.
Gary Lawless will leak it, I'm sure.
So VGK was riding high, very high on Saturday night against the Ovi-less Caps. We'll have a recap coming up next. Oh, that was bad. Corny. Right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
That's more my speed this morning. There you go, brother.
The NFL playoffs are here. We are really excited about our new sports betting partner on Locked On because they are the #1 sports book in America. It is FanDuel. Welcome aboard. If you're new to FanDuel, that's even better because they have so many great features that make betting on sports fun and easy. New customers, if you join today, you get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up for FanDuel. Again, go to FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel is, again, a place where you find your favorite bets, from the money line to point spreads to player props, which are very popular, especially this time of year. Plus, you can even combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. And it's all on the app. It's on an app that's safe, secure, super easy to use. So football fans, don't miss out. Place your first $5 bet, and you will get $150 in free bets, win or lose, at FanDuel.com/lockedon. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Welcome back on Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. And we thank you all for making us your first listen each and every day. And again, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. Saturday night, it was a pretty lively crowd there at the Fortress. VGK had the opportunity to host a game, their final game at home during that homestand against Washington. It was a 6-2 final. Good to see, the first goal by VGK, and nice to see Alec Martinez getting on the score sheet.
Yeah, that was vintage Alec Martinez. He scored so many goals where he's just kind of there as the play is developing, and then he has that veteran presence of mind when to attack the net and strike. It was very reminiscent of the goal he clinched the Stanley Cup game-winning overtime Stanley Cup clinching goal. Not a lot to say there, but it's exciting when it happens. And just look up Alec Martinez Stanley Cup game-winning goal and then compare it to the first goal Saturday at T-Mobile. And he even made the comment, right? You can move up to the first line, you score a goal, feels good, or something like that. So, credit to Alec Martinez, who's had a rough season. It's been rough on Alec Martinez. He's still blocking shots left and right, but his legs are not what they used to, and with good reason. I mean, he looks worse than Roger Dorn in Major League when he finally started to field ground balls and put his body behind it. So, Alec Martinez is a warrior. He's not the speedy warrior he once was, but he's a warrior. If there's one player who you will never question the level of competes and hearts, like I would, if I asked Alec Martinez a question about compete and heart, he'd probably take my head off in the locker room. William Karlsson might, duck it a little bit, but Alec Martinez, I would never ask that question to, because dude would just give me a stare. If he only gave me a look of death, I feel like that was a win.
Paul Cotter had a couple of goals in that game, and the offense played very well, and they protected the house, to use a term that Bruce Cassidy typically uses. Played well defensively, and then they also chased. I start doing this when I talk about Cassidy, just swaying back and forth.
Yeah, I know it's like in the post games too. He even gets the microphone a little bit. There's someone sits in the back that they're spinning the dial at the games in the post game pressers, trying to keep the levels equal and stuff. And I can, that person's got a tough job with Cat. And listen, we're not knocking Cassie. He's just not a microphone guy. That's not his word.
Not a microphone guy. And when he's mad, he sways even faster. Watch that. Darcy Kemper gave up 4 goals on 18 shots, and VGK scored a goal in each period on their first shot in each period. It's pretty cool.
That's good. I mean, listen, they came out ready to play, and a lot of motivation, right? The story of Annabelle is just, remarkable, and what she has meant to the team, and it basically helped get the team in a better mindset. And I wish they could have taken her on the road Sunday, and we can set up a GoFundMe to get her to Las Vegas permanently, because that's maybe the voice that this team needs. Not trying to undersell what's happening with her, but the team certainly got a nice jolt of energy from having her at practice and on the ice. And I mean, she was in the crease with LT. I mean, how just gut-wrenching moving is that, watching that, seeing her standing next to Logan Thompson in the crease during the national anthem. So that was pretty cool to see. She did very well on the siren, so that good job by her to get everyone going. But back to the hockey game. I mean, yeah, sure, a goal in the first shot of each period, that's pretty fun. That's a great statistic right there. Paul Cotter's goals, talk about that. So listen, Cotter's goal, very good mindset around the net, very good hands, but reminds me of the beer league game when your star players out there still trying to run the score up and scoring some of these dazzling goals and stuff like that. I'm not saying Paul Cotter, it's bad on him or anything like that, but we need to see him scoring some goals in some bigger games too, like that. Hopefully his goals on Saturday will carry with him on the road over the weekend and things like that. And they do got the line 4 that I was hoping to see right now. You got Colasar, you got Watt, and you got Paul Cotter down there. And that's a fun line. Also going to be a very tough line to play against, but that only works if someone like Kessel can get something going up top. And unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case. They buried Kessel on line 4 for Saturday's game. And then all of a sudden he wasn't on line 4. So, we'll talk more about Cassidy in segment 3, but point being, good victory on Saturday, fun victory on Saturday. Tom Wilson had his typical, I'm going to, blow up. And I was really hoping Haig and Tom Wilson were going to go coming out of the box. There's not a lot of guys I would like to see line up next to Tom Wilson, but I think Nick Haig is probably the one guy, who might have a shot. But if Tom Wilson gets inside of him, watch out too.
So how could this team be mentally fatigued? Is that just a one game, one off? We saw them go 3-4 during the homestand. I don't know that is the case with this team. I liked what Cassidy did say after the loss in Arizona. He said, no, I didn't address it with the guys after the game. He said, that's not the thing that you do. He's an absolute pro, right? Because he understands the makeup of his team.
Kelly
His team's
McCrimmon
so
does.
fragile. He's so fragile. He's so fragile. And so, but he didn't go in and blast him after the game. It's like in radio, right? You never talk to someone who's on the air, reprimand them or whatever, give them some coaching points right after their shift or while they're on the air, kind of let things simmer a little bit. So that's why I know you're not critiquing me right now. So in any event,
I'm glad we're not being critiqued, or the show would have been off the air 6 months ago. But I'm glad that listen, everything we say about Cassidy is good. Like, I like the way he talks to the media.
He's awesome.
He is, and he gives us a glimpse into what's happening. And again, we'll save a lot of this for the next segment, but there's a lot of talk happening right now, and just the results aren't there though right now, and they haven't been there. And the 3 games and 4-game week, I don't care. Arizona also had that.
They had the same 4 games.
Yeah, and it was not a home game for Arizona. I was just listening as you were coming out. Stephen Marsh put up the "Gave Proof Through the Night" chant during the national anthem, and it was pretty dang loud. I would say that crowd was probably close to 50-50, 40-60. A lot of Knights fans made the trip down to T-Mobile Southeast last night.
Coming up next, we're going to be talking about why in the world was Logan Thompson playing the back-to-back in net. I don't know. We'll talk about that when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Our next partner has a product that I literally use every day. Myself and Chris, we use Athletic Greens because we don't have a lot of time, and we will also want to optimize our immune systems. Now I've been taking this for quite some time, over the past few months, and I absolutely love it. Does not taste chalky or super healthy, has a mild and tropical taste, really that you could get used to first thing in the morning. So what is this stuff? With one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you are absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. Love saying that word, especially first thing in the morning. And so it is definitely lifestyle friendly, and you should try it. Again, Athletic Greens also gives you the important multivitamins. Tons of people take some type of multivitamin as well. It's important to choose one with high quality ingredients that your body will actually absorb. Costs less than $3 a day, and you are investing in your health. It's really good. You should try it sometime. They also donate to kids, over 1.2 million meals to kids in 2020. To make it easy, Athletic Greens, again, is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. So all you have to do is go to athleticgreens.com/NHL network. And again, athleticgreens.com/NHL network. Welcome back to, I got a little choked up on it. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. I'm going to start swaying again. Again, make sure that you make us your first listen each and every day. And also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. So, why was LT in net last night? Why did he play the last 2 games back to back? You made a very good point via Twitter. So, Aiden Hill now will have about what? A 10-day gap before he plays again, if he plays in New Jersey?
So Aiden started the game. He started the Detroit or Dallas game. No, he started the Detroit game
Per game. Yeah.
because that's when LT for whatever reason came barreling out of the locker room. So if he starts against, I mean, who knows? Maybe he does start tomorrow in New Jersey. There is a path where that could possibly happen, right? I mean, LT goes on the back-to-back. And the game, they didn't lose last night because of LT. Like, let's not definitely go that far. Although that first goal where Cassidy did call out one of the centers for not watching someone coming down the slots. LT was the one who thought about going to play the puck. They said, no, we're probably not going to play the puck. And then the puck comes out to the slot, and unfortunately, someone is Clayton Keller is sitting there wide open, and LT could not get set for the shot. So that first goal, I would put more of the responsibility on LT for at least not being ready for that one, and either sell out and make the play or stay in net. Don't get stuck in between, because that's what happened. So he played against. I thought he played against Dallas, so I thought it was going to be a longer layoff. It won't be as bad, but if Aiden Hill goes Tuesday, then you're only looking at about a 5-day swing. Otherwise, you are looking at 8 or 9 days if he starts against the Rangers or the Islanders. He's definitely starting one of these 3 games. There's no doubt in my mind he's starting one of these 3 games. But I think the bigger question is why wasn't he out there last night or the Saturday game? However you want to split it up. Why did he not play one of these games? Aiden Hill has been a better than serviceable backup, and the team performs in front of him as well. That's the other side of this. So the question isn't why did LT start? Why does Cassidy not trust Aiden Hill? In the last game Aiden Hill played, you did get the comment, you need one more save. And then it was a lot of other things. It was the passengers, it was everything else, but he started all that with, you need that one more save. What's going on here? Like, why are we not trusting Aiden Hill all of a sudden? And, I did have another, interaction with Aiden Hill where it made me think that maybe there is a little something brewing with him and coach. I don't know what that is, but, you have 2 good weapons. And early in the season, right, it was a 2-3 splits and there was a plan, right? You're going to tell me this is the plan? Cassidy said, okay, we talked to Burke. We liked the way he looked the last time we did the back-to-back and all of that. And fine, whatever, I get all of that, but why? Just why do you need to do this at this point of the season? Why not just get Aiden Hill out there and see what happens? Because good things have happened when Aiden Hill has started games.
Yeah, but remember, let's harken back to the back-to-back when they played LA and Anaheim, and Cassidy said that Hill was not prepared. He had extra time to prepare. He did not prepare. So I think that might be where that comes from.
He was pulled. LT was pulled. I'm sorry, Aiden Hill was pulled, I thought, though. Right?
Yeah. Remember,
so technically LT didn't even start both games. That's my point. LT didn't even start both games. So why is that a valid comparable for Coach Cassidy when he is evaluating which goalie to go with? I don't understand.
Yeah, don't understand that either. Teams are starting again. We said second time around, they would measure again a lot, not the fault of LT. Don't get me wrong here. But teams are starting to catch him top corner. They're starting to find some weaknesses in his game. They're scouting him a little bit better. And again, we go back. It was the Anaheim game where they were pointing out he stands up too much. And when he goes down, he has the 5-hole right there wide open. There are some things technically bad. He's struggling of late ever since they announced that he was the all-star goaltender. But the defense was bad. And again, man, game number 49. He's taking all of the veteran centermen to task. I can't stop doing the Cassidy sway.
No, listen, here's the other side of this, though. Defense, not great, not bad. I wouldn't say bad, but not great is the terminology I would use. You can't tell me that 3 goals wasn't something BGK should have been able to overcome last night, especially with what happened Saturday against Washington. And don't tell me they used them all up. Nothing like that. I'm not buying into any of that. But Cassidy, I love the things that he says. And again, he gives us a lot. I think Steve and Owen were the only 2 local people that made their way down for the game. And I think only Steve got a question at the end of the game outside of Ashley asking all of her questions. And the only question was regarding the goalie, which I'm glad someone did ask about that. And I don't buy the explanation. I think there was a trust issue with Aiden Hill in the part of Coach Cassidy. Why else does Aiden Hill not play this game? Why? But to the point, 3 goals should be something you can overcome in, a scrappy back-to-back game where Arizona was on the same level playing field too. 4-game week. Mentally fatigued. No, stop it. You're a professional athlete. You're a professional coach. I will not buy that at this stage of the season right now.
Yeah. And veteran centerman, he said that we just missed in that game. Who asked the question about the Stars not producing? Was that Steven?
I didn't catch that part. That wouldn't be an Ashley question. I'll
no, it was not hers. It was a male voice, but
it was probably Owen Krebs or Stephen Marsh. Probably Owen Krebs might have gotten on that one.
Good question. Have you seen this before to that effect?
That was probably. I think that was Owen. I think that was Owen's voice. I could be wrong. I hope, Owen, if you do watch us, that I'm quoting you right.
He said, Cassidy did say with better defense, he said it could have been a 1-1, 2-1 game. And
it doesn't win the game,
really
though.
upset.
I don't care. It doesn't win the game.
Yeah. How do they fix this defensively? He said, again, his Stars are not producing, but if they're playing defense, again, when you play good defense, most of the time you can lead that to offense. It always happens in every sport. If you're playing well defensively, your offense will come out of your defense.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the oldest cliches in the book. The best, the best offense is a good defense, right? And stuff like that, and VGK does have a good, again, this is not a pity party for the VGK. Things did start well with a healthy roster when everything clicked. Now the roster's not healthy and it's not clicking. That is a perfect storm of bad. If we can somehow get 4 points or better on this little 3-game roadie before the All-Star break, reset, get some of our players back, I do feel a lot better about things right now. But this team, again, I'll make an equal case to win the Pacific and have a playoff run. But I'm starting to lean more towards the side of I'm doing one of my balance things right now for those that are listening and not watching. I'm leaning more towards the side that this team is going to be competing for a wild card spot down the stretch. Very dangerous waters, because with pressure, and this team has had a lot of it over the last 45 days, with pressure, this team is not performing well.
So I'm guessing that they will stay in the city in Manhattan and then just drive over to New Jersey, perhaps. I know Vegas Bjorn wants no part of my old hood in Newark. There's no way. Would you carry your Lady Bing in the hood? Carry your Lady Bing trophy in the hood? I mean, it's not going to work, bro. But they probably will stay in the city and then go back to Newark. That's just a joke, folks. Relax. Coming up on tomorrow's show, of course, we'll talk more about this road swing and much, much more coming your way. I'll stop swaying here, I promise you. And hopefully all of our camera issues are solved, at least for the moment. We thank all of you for making us your first listen. I was about to get, to use your terminology, bus rolled. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. And we appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you going to our YouTube page again, Locked On Golden Knights, and subscribing there. And for my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco saying so long for now. Lady Bing in the hood. Could be a movie. We'll see you tomorrow right here.
Or a song.
Or a song. See you tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights.